It's the founding force of Trans Am racing.
That's what it's all about. Something that you can identify with, something you might drive on the street.
Pony car wars raging. Mustang, Camaro, and Challenger. BIR in northern Minnesota, one of Trans Am's original tracks. And TA2 is in the spotlight for the Ryan Company's Muscle Car Challenge. We expect fireworks. It's next on CBS Sports Network. Welcome to Brainerd International Raceway. We're in Brainerd, Minnesota for coverage of Trans Am, America's road racing series. Today, it's the Ryan Company's Muscle Car Challenge. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin. NASCAR star Michael McDowell joins me for the call in a moment. Todd Lewis has our coverage all weekend down on pit road. We're at one of Trans Am's historic facilities. This track, when it was known as Donnybrook, hosted the series in its formative years back in the 1960s. Now it's a hotbed of Trans Am action here on the Independence Day weekend. In TA2, the competition has been as hot as ever. Ford, Chevrolet, Dodge, all battling on a pretty much level playing field. But the series is always working hard to make sure it stays that way. On pit road, Todd Lewis with more about what Trans Am is doing to ensure equal competition in TA2.
That's right, Rick. Here's the big story this weekend, the change in the restrictor plates by Trans Am officials. We've heard about restrictor plates in NASCAR. They are used here in the Trans Am series as well. For the Ford Mustangs this weekend, they have reduced the size of the openings to 1.344 inches. After a lot of data analysis and consultation, Trans Am officials felt it would make for better competition. Hasn't really hampered the performance of one competitor for sure. Tony Buffamonte posted the quickest time during qualifying yesterday, posting a new track record in a 1 minute 31.1 seconds around this 2.5-mile track. He is on pole to lead the field. But you know, whenever series officials make a change in competition, drivers have opinions about it.
For some reason, my car and the Ford seem to get restricted when we go on a bit of a run, but we're dealing with it. I mean, this, unfortunately for us, this is not a horsepower track, so it's a handling track, and that's where the Mike Cope chassis shines.
You know, everyone was a little upset at the beginning of the weekend, but we've been looking closely at data. We're all hitting the same mile an hour now going into the sweeper, so I think it's great.
All right, the thoughts of Lawrence Loshak and his Chevrolet, and Tony Buffamonte, the fast qualifier in the Mike Cope Mustang, the 34 car. They will lead the field to green. Let's take a look at the championship standings. We've got a flat-footed tie after 4 rounds.
And Tony Buffamonte, solid qualifying efforts, challenging Gar Robertson for that championship.
Dylan McIver and Louis-Philippe Montour next in line in the points chase as the field circulates here at Brainerd behind the safety car. Getting ready to go racing, your starting lineup, Buffamonte on pole, Loshak and his Chevrolet alongside. Tommy Archer back in the series and the champion, Gar Robinson.
Such a competitive TA2 field. We always see side-by-side battles for the lead, and I'm expecting the same thing today.
Keith Prosiak will start in row 5 with John Atwell. There's Montour back in the 6th row, not where he's customarily qualifying. Tim Gray, the Ryan Company's CEO, starts back in the 7th row. And all alone in row 8 in the 99, young Justin Haley, who won a NASCAR K&N Series race on an oval in the Southeast last night.
Yeah, Justin's a great talent, won the K&N East race. He's got a diverse background. Let's see if he can go from the back to the front today.
One of the drivers Haley will be chasing is our pole sitter, Tony Buffamonte, very much in the thick of the championship fight here in TA2. As we get set to go green, let's hear from Tony about this year's title fight.
I think the great thing that we've done so far is huge versatility. We won on pace at Road Atlanta. We won on strategy at New Jersey. We had some bad luck at the Glen. But fortunately, you know, for us, New Jersey, we didn't think it was going to be a good track. We didn't think this was going to be a good track. So looking forward to Mid-Ohio, Road America, VIR, the next stretch. Those are good tracks for us, so we're ready for it.
You got to have a fast car every weekend to have those consistent runs, and you got to have a little luck.
We'll also take a ride on board today with the great veteran Tommy Archer racing at his home track here at Brainerd. Tommy, a longtime ace in Trans Am and GT competition. Adam Andretti will carry one of our cameras as well today. Adam's kind of struggled this season so far.
Adam always puts on a great show, though, for the fans. We know he's going to be charging hard lane, everything on the line, and that's what we expect to see out of Adam Andretti.
And we'll keep an eye on Justin Haley, starting shotgun on the field in the Mike Cope Ford, the 99 car. Coming to the green here at Brainerd. We're glad to have you with us. We're underway with the Ryan Company's Muscle Car Challenge. This long straightaway to the sweeping turn 2, and you stay on the gas pretty hard here, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Fast sweeping corner, 2-3 wide. They get single file here. You're just trying to survive that first lap. Get a few spots as you can, but you can definitely lose a race coming into this last corner here.
Shane Lewis diving to the inside in the 72 car, trying to pick up some spots. Buffamani with the lead. Loshak in second. Robinson in third. And Tommy Archer got shuffled back here on the start. Adam Andretti to the inside will pick up a spot as he charges for fourth. Let's stay on board with Buffamani getting passed on the outside.
And Lawrence Loshak played that perfectly. Tony Buffamani went a little bit defensive. Lawrence got inside and was able to pull off that pass for the lead.
So Loshak in the Pennzoil Chevrolet takes over in the 5 car. Gar Robinson in third. Adam Andretti is fourth. Tommy Archer back to fifth here on the first lap. Dylan McIver settling into sixth. Let's get on board with Archer as he grabs a gear. Just a big carousel that dumps you back onto the short front straightaway.
Now, Tommy Archer's a veteran. You're not going to see a lot of mistakes out of him. He's going to play it cool these first few laps. He's going to save his tires for the end. He's a guy that I expect to see challenging for the win when we get to the white flag.
Remember, here at Brainerd, the checkered flag falls on this pit road straightaway. Justin Haley trying to make a move. Somebody got crossed up there as we watch the battle for position. Buffamani second, Robinson third, Andretti fourth, Archer fifth. Back a little further in the back. Might have been Shane Lewis who got kicked sideways there for a moment. Loshak starting to open it up. He's got about a 6 car length advantage now. Boy, these TA2 cars are just beautiful.
Oh, they sound great, but what I love as a driver watching these cars, they slide around. Those bias ply tires really have a lot of forgiveness. You see guys hanging it all the way out, and you can even hear the tires on this onboard squealing.
Loshak, Buffamani, and Robinson, your top 3. A little distance back to Adam Andretti in the 44 car. And then you've got that bright blue 54 of Archer. There's McIver in the 24. So strong here a year ago. Really got everybody to kind of take notice of him midway through last season. It's the battle for position behind the top 3.
And you can see already, Adam Andretti has a little bit of damage on the back of that car. We saw him jam up on the brakes. Here's Shane Lewis putting the pressure on.
Lewis in 7th spot. Great veteran of road racing and endurance competition and in sprint racing. Has yet to really make his mark here at Trans Am. Signed on last year to join Gar Robinson in the 74 Ranch Resort stable out of San Antonio, Texas. Chasing Dylan McIver in the Ford car, the 24. There's Adam Andretti in the 44. That's a Mustang for Andretti at this point of the season. There's Louis-Philippe Montour in the Dodge, the 77, the Speed Logics engine. On board here with Jordan Bernlower. Local competitor, has done a nice job so far in his maiden year in TA2, chasing the 9 of Keith Prosiak. That's Bernlower in that green 07 machine.
And we're starting to see him get a little bit spread out. Everybody's getting into the rhythm. This is the time of the race where you're seeing what you have. You're working on what you need to do to get a little bit more speed out of your car and just make sure that you're there to fight at the end.
Archer fighting the 44 of Andretti for position. Tommy to the inside, but he's in the wrong lane here, heading down to the left-hander.
And what Tommy's trying to do here is get Adam off of his rhythm, get him offline. That pass really happens 2 or 3 corners later. You're just taking position, but you're really setting it up for a few corners down the road.
Justin Haley there in the 99, putting heavy heat on Tom Sheehan for 8th spot. This for 4th, Andretti, Archer, McIver, and Shane Lewis. You've got Archer and Lewis, guys who've been doing this a long time, and a couple of young guns in the mix.
And that's what's so great about Trans Am racing. You have guys young like Justin Haley that are laying it all on the line, and you have veterans like Tommy Archer that have been racing longer than I've been alive.
Everybody chasing the 5 of Lawrence Loshak. Buffamani trying to make a move. Keith Prosiak looking back at Jordan Bernlower's machine. Prosiak and Bernlower with a good fight going on for position. Loshak leads the field here at Brainerd. We'll be back.
Trans Am Racing Series on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Ryan Companies US, Integrated Commercial Real Estate Solutions. By GoShare, your friend with a truck. And by 3-Dimensional Services Group, prototype, production, proven.
Welcome back to Brainerd International Raceway in Brainerd, Minnesota. I'm Rick Benjamin, NASCAR star Michael McDowell alongside as we watch the 44 of Adam Andretti. The Ryan Companies Independence Day Classic weekend. This is the Muscle Car Challenge featuring Trans Am 2. This is one of the coolest elements in Trans Am racing, no doubt about it. The Mustangs, the Camaros, the Dodge Challengers on board the Camaro of Shane Lewis. Great road racing veteran. Michael, you and I share this, I think, that we're surprised. It shows you how tough the competition here is in TA2. Shane hasn't yet broken through and won one of these things.
It's so shocking to me that we haven't seen Shane in victory lane, but we've seen his student, Gar Robinson, get the victory lane and a championship. So Shane is working hard for the race team, working on making the race team better every weekend, and now he's in a position where he needs to step up his own program and get the victory lane.
There he is in the Pure Vita Tequila 72 car, chasing Adam Andretti. And how about this? The Braun Company's 99 of young Justin Haley on the charge here. He has moved up to 8th spot after starting back in 15th in just a handful of laps. He is flying.
And the first lap that Justin saw this weekend was coming to the green.
Tim Gray drives the 60 car here at Brainerd and many times on the Trans Am Tour. He's the chairman of the board of Ryan Companies, the event sponsor this weekend. Todd talked to him earlier.
You are representing Ryan Companies, who are huge supporters of this event, and you being a local driver, also getting used to a car you've only run a few events in. Bit of a challenge?
Correct. It's a brand new car that this is my 3rd event with it. I ran 2 SCCA events, so this is actually my first Trans Am event with this car, and I'm slowly getting used to it.
Starting a little further back than you'd like, do you have plans to move forward?
I sure will try.
Tim, a guy with a lot of laps here at Brainerd as well. He and his son both race in SCCA amateur competition. Great to have him in the field here this weekend.
Absolutely, and like he said, a daunting task to go up against these Trans Am guys. A lot of experience coming from the local ranks into Trans Am is such a huge step.
Up front, meantime, Loshak in the 5, Buffamati in the 34, Robinson in the 74. Your top 3. Loshak in that Pennzoil Chevrolet starting to pull away a little bit now.
Yeah, Loshak has put together a really good first half of this race. The car is so good looking. That Pennzoil colors look awesome. But you know Gar Robinson and Tony Buffamati are going to pounce on him as soon as they can.
Robinson, though, has got to work his way around the 34. We get on board here with the defending series champion. Buffamati doing a nice job in the 34. Passing opportunities here at Brainerd are hard to come by.
Absolutely. And what I like about Gar Robinson is we've seen a lot of maturity out of him since last year. He was a guy that was like Adam Andretti, always going for it. Now we see him managing the race as well. He has a fast car. He knows that he just has to keep himself in position, so when it gets to the later laps of the race, he can be in position.
This part of the racetrack where the exit to pit road occurs very, very tight. You've got to really come down on the brakes hard. It's almost a 90-degree left under a bridge, then a 90-degree right gets you to the fastest part of the racetrack.
And that's what's great about Brainerd. You have tight technical sections, but here you see long, sweeping, fast corners, almost wide open, if not wide open. These are daunting corners because the speeds are so high. So you have to work on your balance. You got to have the car where it's good through the high speed, and that might give up a little bit in the technical sections, or some guys will focus more on the technical. You have to know where you're going to pass. You got to know where your car's strong, and in practice, you're working on that setup to get it there.
You can see Buffamati there. You can tell you're on the gas through 1, 2, and 3 here at Brainerd. Then you've got to downshift and really get on the brakes to get into the next section.
And like I said, as a driver, you love courses like this that challenge you, that challenge the brakes, that make you stay up on the wheel. There's no time to rest.
Speaking of challenges, the great veteran Tommy Archer with a ton of Trans Am victories to his credit, running 4th right now in the 54 car. He's been battling cancer the last couple of years. We talked to him earlier.
You know, the health thing is kind of disappears when I'm in the driver's seat of this car. And the crew works so hard to give me a good car. They believe in me, I believe in them. And, you know, it's going to be a long race. You just got to keep your head on straight and try not to get knocked around by the kids.
A guy that certainly knows how to manage his equipment and these bias-ply tires. Tommy Archer sitting 4th in front of young Dylan McIvern. Everyone chasing Lawrence Loshak and Tony Buffamati. We'll be right back at Brainerd. at Brainerd International Raceway in Minnesota, the Ryan Company's Muscle Car Challenge, powered by AEM. He's Michael McDowell. I'm Rick Benjamin. Todd Lewis on pit road for us all weekend long. Back on board with Tommy Archer in the 54 car. On this front straightaway, grabbing high gear as you charge around turn one. You get a great look at how fast this is.
And it is fast, and you can see him making a shift mid-corner. The car's sliding. Wow, they're carrying speed through the sweeper.
The slower car of Tim Gray, the Ford Mustang, the 60 car, the Ryan Company's machine. Is he going to give Tommy room just barely to let Archer go by? But he had to get out of the gas there.
Lost a little bit of momentum, but you saw Tommy Archer be very aggressive there, not wanting to lose touch to Gar Robinson.
Loshak continues to lead in the Pennzoil Platinum Chevrolet Camaro, the 5 car. Meantime, Gar Robinson has moved to second. The 34 Buffamani, our fast qualifier, he's fallen off the pace.
I'm not sure if he used up his tires maybe a little bit too much early on, but definitely losing pace to the leaders.
Loshak, meantime, laying down some great laps. Robinson, the defending series champion. You get a look at what his office looks like on this sunny weekend. Oh, and some smoke. Loshak with trouble. Loshak goes way off course. Problems with the 5 car, and Loshak gives up the lead. Let's take a look at what happens.
And we see Lawrence Loshak carry a lot of speed, maybe too much, locks up that inside left front tire and slides off the racetrack.
And that gives series champ Gar Robinson the lead. Tommy Archer moving to second now. Archer coming out of the front straightaway here, and he'll see if he can get something done with Robinson as he downshifts into 1. Whoa! Tommy Archer loses it completely and goes spinning off into the marbles here outside of 1. Loshak back on course, gets by him, as does Dylan McIvern.
And we could hear from that onboard. Tommy Archer got in the corner. You hear the rear tires lock up, gets a little bit sideways. He did a great job not to get hit by another competitor sitting in the middle of the racetrack.
Now, I thought Loshak might have had a mechanical issue to go off the way he did, but he's back on course here. Some debris on course, but not in the racing line. Will stay green for second. McIvern in the 24 trying to track down Loshak now.
Now Loshak's in second after all that, but keep in mind, Gar Robinson is checked out now. He's got several second lead. It's going to take a lot to reel him back in.
McIvern may be held up a little bit here by Loshak.
And McIvern had so much speed. We saw at the end of last year. This year, he's getting the grips with that Ford Mustang. We haven't quite seen the performance, but he's there today.
Loshak with another brake lockup going into that corner.
And that's what happens. Once you flat spot that tire, it finds that spot every time you get on the brake zone and that tire gets light. So you got to be careful. Once it starts to go, if you don't baby it, that tire will be gone in seconds.
On board here with McIvern in the 24 car. Loshak, with whatever problem he has, seemingly not using the correct line in a couple of places either. He's being very careful.
And he's doing the right thing. He's making sure that that left front tire doesn't get unloaded when he's heavy on the brakes. So you see him adjusting his line. He's changing the speed that he enters into the corner. And while doing that, he's trying to manage his speed.
And you can hear McIvern, he's not able to use all the race car at this place on the racetrack.
And this is that tight technical section we were talking about. Very hard to pass. What you want to do is you want to set up your momentum for these high speed sweeping corners. That's a great spot to make a pass.
McIvern in the 24, right up behind Loshak in the 5 car. As they come to the fastest part of Brainerd, turn 1, you can see McIvern trying to find a place to get by.
Absolutely, and if he's smart here, he's going to carry lots of momentum through the sweeping corner and try to outbrake him.
For second spot at Brainerd, Loshak with some brake smoke, some tire smoke emitting. Meantime, Gar Robinson in the Pura Vida Tequila 74 Ranch Resort Chevrolet. All alone out in front. He has cashed in big here.
And this is where you have to manage the race well if you're Gar Robinson. You know that there's a potential that there could be a yellow. You have to save your equipment, you have to save your tires, but you don't want them to run you down either. So you have to really think about where you want to save and where you want to push.
Young Justin Haley in the 99. He is right behind Adam Andretti now. This is a battle for 4th spot.
And we saw Justin start shotgun on the field. His first laps on the racetrack. He's been making his way nice and steady through the field. And as we get to almost halfway here, he's putting himself in a position to challenge.
Justin Haley from 15th to 5th here in about 15 laps. On board with Adam Andretti in the ECC 44 car. Trying to hang on and hold 4th, in trouble for the Speed Logics Dodge of Louis-Philippe Montour. The 77 car looks like he is out of power on the race course. Montour off the racing line. Rest of the field will cycle by. There you see the pole sitter Buffamani in the 34, who's fallen way off the pace. This could bring out a caution flag. Montour on the backside of the course here. Don't think he can coast around to pit road. He gets on the brakes and he will stop, and that should produce a yellow. Meantime, this fight for fourth rages.
These guys are putting on a great battle, fighting hard. Adam Andretti's doing a great job, not making any mistakes, not giving Justin the opportunity to get by.
Right behind this battle, you see in sixth now, the 54 of Tommy Archer. Archer had spun as he had just taken over second. Get back on board with Haley in the 99. Looking for room on the inside.
Wow, that got dicey there. You can hear him modulating the throttle, the car sliding around. Justin even got a wheel in the grass there, kind of broke his momentum. But that last corner there, they're not wide open. It's right on the edge. And as a driver, that is so much fun.
Getting by the stalled car of Montour on the backside of the race course. No caution yet. This is Loshak in the 5 in front of McIvern in the 24 as they fight for position. And now the yellow waves. Montour's car, even though he's offline, it's at the entrance to the right-hander. SCCA Pro Racing officials determining that that is a hazard. So we get a caution. We'll take the opportunity to take a break. Robinson's your leader at Brainerd.
Trans Am Racing Series on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by the General Insurance. Get your anonymous online auto insurance quote now. And by Replay XD, professional action cameras, the leader since 2005.
Caution flying at Brainerd International Raceway, the Ryan Company's Muscle Car Challenge here on CBS Sports Network. I'm Rick Benjamin, Michael McDowell alongside Keith Brosiak in the 9 car, one of the Mike Cove machines. Before the start, we talked to Keith about how important his AEM Infinity system is.
Well, the fantastic thing about the AEM unit is it's a real modernized unit. It comes with really good software and really good data. With the AEM device, it gives us a lot of engine data, for example, fuel pressure, exhaust temperatures, air-fuel ratios, and spark advance that we can then send to our dash units and give the drivers the information they need to let them know that their engine is healthy, is it running hot, should they pull back? So it helps the driver understand the health and the status of their engine during the race.
And this is stuff that teams would learn about afterwards before, but this is real time during all track sessions.
Absolutely. Yeah, for example, yesterday I was out on session and my fuel pressure warning came on, and that's data that came from the AEM to my dash display. So it let me know as a driver that my fuel was running low and I knew to come in before I actually ran out of fuel completely.
And for a driver, you want as much information as you get. AEM's doing a great job giving the driver the tools so they know exactly how their engine's performing.
AEM Infinity providing the spec ECU engine control units for Trans Am 2. Again, this season, we appreciate their involvement in the series. Safety car is off. We're halfway home. The distance today, as always, 100 miles, 40 laps here at the 2.5-mile Brainerd International Raceway. There's a time limit here as well. I don't think we'll bump into the time limit today. Everyone chasing Gar Robinson. Second spot belongs again to Loshak. McIvern is third. Adam Andretti fourth. We are back underway on board with Tommy Archer. The engineered components, Archer Brothers Chevrolet. And look at J.J. Haley. Justin Haley in the 99 to the inside, elbowing his way by McIvern for position.
Wow, very aggressive Justin was on that start. He's still too wide, in the dirt, in the grass, trying to get to the top spot.
Fighting for second with Loshak in the 5 car, and he makes the pass good. Justin Haley from 15th on the grid has muscled his way to second. They're banging wheels for third spot. McIvern trying to get by Loshak.
Intense side-by-side racing on this restart. We always see it. Justin Haley did a great job to put himself in position. Let's see if he can get around Gar Robinson for the lead.
5th spot belongs to Tommy Archer, but Adam Andretti right there as well. Haley, meantime, in his rearview mirror. Loshak back on pace in the 5 car. McIvern and then the 54 of Archer. Let's get on board with Justin Haley, who sits second.
And you can see Justin using all the track, trying to set up this pass. Tight technical section of the course. Not your ideal passing spot, but he is pushing hard, trying to push Gar Robinson into a mistake.
Tough section of Brainerd. You come off that right-hand sweeper, then there's a little kickback left and right to get you to a very short front straightaway.
And you see the cars sliding around using all the track out.
Down into 1, Robinson with his mirrors full of the 99 of Justin Haley. Now come under the bridge and head to the fastest part of Brainerd here. 3 sweepers in a row, and you are heavy on the gas here. Oh, Loshak wiggles it.
Heavy on the gas, going up through the gears, high speed, sweeping corners. This is the spot where you can make up time, but it's also the highest risk. If you make a mistake at these speeds, you will not recover.
Robinson continues to lead, starts to stretch it out here just a little bit over Haley. Loshak seems to be okay now on the 5 car. Remember, he had that off earlier. He's returned to run 3rd.
You can see Justin close the gap on the brakes really deep, and while that's happening, Lawrence Loshak's running them both down. This is going to be a tight battle for the lead here soon.
Right behind Loshak, Dylan McAvern in the 24 car sits 4th. Tommy Archer runs 5th. Running order top of your screen. Adam Andretti is 6th. Archer taking a look again to the inside of McAvern for 4th spot.
This is the most aggressive I've seen Tommy Archer in the last few races. He is pushing hard. This is a track he's very familiar with. He's giving the young guys all they can take.
On board here with Adam Andretti as he watches that battle for position. Archer directly in front. McAvern 1 spot further up, and then Loshak in 3rd.
And this is unusual for Adam Andretti. He's been running 4th, 5th, 6th all day long. This is a guy we normally see in the lead, fighting Gar Robinson, and today we just haven't seen the speed out of Adam Andretti.
In the second half of this one now at Brainerd, these bias ply tires start to go off just a little bit. This is really where managing, oh, and somebody off further up the racetrack. This is where managing your tires is so important.
Bias ply tires are so much fun to watch. We see it every time in this TA2 category. It allows those guys to slide the cars around, and we love it as a fan. But as a driver, every time you slide that tire, it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Eventually, you're just going to run out of grip. On
board here with Dylan McAvern in the Mike Cope 24 car. Again, this fast portion of the racetrack, turns 1, 2, and 3. Coming up at the end of this short shoot, you've really got to get on the brakes and downshift a couple of times.
Absolutely, and we see a pass happening for the lead. Justin has got inside Gar Robinson. Gar's fighting back. He's on the inside. Let's see if he can pull off the pass.
Haley in the 99 sticks the nose of that Mustang into the front spot, but he can't hold on. Robinson right back at him in the 74.
And these guys aren't giving each other an inch. They're door to door, banging wheels. This is great stuff.
Haley closes the deal in the 99. Here comes Loshak gunning for 2nd spot. What a drive for Justin Haley, last to first here, off the course. Haley pushes too hard, that gives Robinson a chance. Gar Robinson back to the lead, and now Loshak elbows his way into 2nd. Wow, Haley got forced off his rhythm big time there.
Well, he was just pushing hard, got to the lead, didn't want Gar Robinson to get back to him, swung a little bit wide, and that's all it takes in Trans Am competition.
On board here in Robinson's machine, Haley has made the pass. This is a replay look.
And you just see him get a little loose in the corner, had to make a slight correction, gets wide up over the curb, and Gar pounced on him.
Robinson, very smart there, used up all the racetrack, didn't give Haley room to yank the wheel and get back on the track.
And this is where a young guy like Justin Haley has to keep his composure. He has a fast car. He knows he can challenge for the lead. You got to take a deep breath. You got to get back in the zone, and you got to hit your marks.
Tommy Archer coughs up a spot there. Haley back around him along with McAvern. So let's reset. Robinson is your new leader. Haley led for what, 1 corner. He's all the way back in 3rd again.
And we see Lawrence Loshak back into 2nd position. We saw him lead early on. A slight mistake, got wide, got into the dirt. But now as we get closer, he's closing in on Gar Robinson.
Robinson retakes the lead in the Ryan Company's Muscle Car Challenge. We'll be back. Back at Brainerd, Gar Robinson pitching that thing sideways coming off the corner.
Oh, what an amazing, amazing race this has been. We saw that restart. It did exactly what we wanted it to do. Bunch that top 6 cars nose to tail. They've been battling since that green flag came out, and they're not done yet.
Ryan Company's Muscle Car Challenge powered by AEM. Fantastic action here in TA2. Robinson with about a half dozen car lights over Lawrence Loshak. Justin Haley trying to gather himself back up. We're on board the 99 car. Sits 3rd. He's starting to reel in the 5 car.
He's done a great job, too. We saw a couple mistakes out of him. He was able to get his composure back, and now he's getting that speed. We saw it early on. He's very aggressive. He's not lacking in that department. Now he has to put the end of the race together.
Loshak closing in on Gar Robinson. You get the feeling that Robinson may not be the fastest race car in this thing, but he's done a great job driving the 74.
He's managed the race well, and like you said, the last 5 or 6 laps, we haven't seen the speed out of Gar. We've seen Loshak run him in. We've seen Justin run him in, but he is doing a great job not making any mistakes.
A little further back, Buffamani in the 34, gathering himself back up perhaps for a late race charge here. Running 6th, he pitted during that caution, took out a new right rear tire. He seems to have his speed back.
And you got to remember, Tony Buffoni sat on the pole. He was very fast early on. We saw him drop back. Not sure if that was that right rear tire giving up, but under caution, very fortunate he was able to replace that. Now we can see if he can make a late race charge.
And up in front, that battle for position involving Archer and the other two contenders, that's going to work to his advantage. Meantime, how about the race for the lead? You've still got Robinson in front of Loshak. Loshak being pressed heavily again by Haley. Archer and McIvern next in line. Top 5 under a blanket here as we get into the late stages of this one.
And these guys are looking and waiting for the opportunity, looking for a guy to make a mistake. Tommy Archer's done a great job this race. He's a veteran. Let's see if he can outsmart these young guys.
On board with McIvern in the 24. Running 5th behind Archer. See Archer's car kind of slipping and sliding there.
Yeah, such a great onboard. You hear Dylan McIvern working that throttle, and in the meantime, you're watching Tommy Archer slide through a high-speed 95, 100-mile-an-hour corner.
How hard is it for a young guy like Dylan McIvern or Justin Haley or even Gar Robinson to be patient? Here's McIvern diving to the inside of Archer. Forget patience.
Well, obviously, these guys don't have a lot of respect. If I was racing Tommy Archer, I think I'd take it a little bit easier. The guy's a legend. He's won so many Trans Am races and championships. Dylan obviously doesn't care. He is diving it down in there and takes the spot.
Dylan McIvern picks up 4th from Tommy Archer in the 54. Archer back up through the gears, says, hey, I'm not done, kid. Downshifts into the right-hander. You're watching a master at work when you sit with Tommy Archer in one of these race cars. Archer back on the gas, heading to the front straightaway at his home course here in Brainerd. Robinson still throwing that thing sideways.
He's giving it all he has. There's no doubt about it. He's not leaving anything on the table.
Battle for second. Loshak in the Pennzoil 5. Haley in the Braun 99 car. That black and white Mustang. McIvern next in line. Then you've got Archer being pressed hard by pole sitter Buffamante.
And you can see Buffamante close the gap as these guys are jockeying for position. And when you're sitting in that position, you might not have the fastest car, but if you're sitting 4th, 5th, and those guys get side by side, you got to capitalize on the opportunity.
As they say, Rubbin's racing, certainly the case in TA2. Tommy Archer with a little bit of grill work flapping in the breeze on the 54 car.
I don't see a lot of straight panels on any of these cars in the top 5. They've been battling it, nose to tail, side by side, banging wheels, and this is what we expect out of TA2. I have so much fun calling these races because I'm a fan. I love seeing these guys drive these cars to the absolute limit.
Want to give a call to Jordan Bernlower, who's from Minnesota, in that green 07 car. He's back there in 7th. He's managed to keep the leaders in view much of the day here today. Guy Robinson, the defending series champ, is still out in front. Loshak has climbed back into 2nd. Haley sitting 3rd. Haley took the lead briefly, but didn't come across the line with the lead. Gave it up a couple of turns later, went off course, got it right back on the racetrack, and he is right back in the thick of things.
He absolutely is in the thick of it. He's putting a lot of pressure on Lawrence Loshak right now, and Lawrence Loshak's doing the same to Guy Robinson. And that is a hard spot to be in when you're sitting 3rd, because if you dive it in there and you overslip it, you're going to run right into the back of Guy Robinson, so you have to time it just perfect.
It is so tempting when you road course race to dive bomb somebody. You see that lane open up to the inside of a corner, you think, man, I can get him here, but it puts you way offline for the next corner. You got to be patient.
You have to be patient, and you have to know exactly when to do it. When you have 2 or 3 cars right behind you, you can't make those types of mistakes. If it's a little bit more spread out and it's only the 2 of you racing, you can be a bit aggressive. You can slide wide, but right now, if you slide wide, you're going to be 7th.
Dylan McIvern inside of Haley in the 99 for 3rd spot. Couldn't quite get the job done. Justin Haley hanging on to a podium position. Robinson still the leader. We'll be back at Brainerd. Back at Brainerd International Raceway, the Ryan Company's Muscle Car Challenge powered by AEM. Pass for position, no. Haley thought he was going to lose the spot there to McIvern, is able to hang again onto 3rd as they dive into turn 1.
Well, the action hasn't stopped since this restart. We see Tommy Archer, he slid off the racetrack. Guys are putting wheels in the dirt. Everybody is laying it all on the line here as we're getting to the closing laps.
Up through the gears, Archer. Back in 5th position. 3rd, 4th, and 5th is incredibly intense. Up front, meantime, Loshak still putting a lot of heat on race leader Gar Robinson.
And this is what Dylan and Justin have to be careful of. If they battle too hard for that third position, they're going to let the leaders get out of touch, and you can't do that. You stay in line, you close that gap, and then you can battle hard.
Quick look there at the BCR Chevrolet of Jordan Bernlower, who's done a terrific job today. Young driver in his second year of Trans Am competition. First time we've seen him this year. Hanging with these guys. This again a home racetrack for Bernlower. Let's get on board here with Buffamati in the 34. Qualified on pole, struggled, had to pit for that tire change. Of course, if you pit in a sprint race like this, especially under green, he did it under caution. You are going to give up a lot of track position, but Buffamati right back in the thick of this.
Well, he did a great job on the restart, got around some of those slower cars. He put himself in position, and as these guys battled so hard, he was able to close that gap.
Robinson continuing to lead. Loshak runs second. Haley sits third. Then it's McIvern, Archer, Buffamati, and Bernlower. Your top 7 under a blanket. Adam Andretti has fallen off the pace, as has Shane Lewis in the 72. So a couple of drivers who normally contend for wins, well, this pace has just gotten the best of them. They've just fallen off.
And we're not sure if they've had mechanical issues or did it flat wore their stuff out. But the one thing that was consistent week after week is that these top 5, top 7 cars, when it comes down to the end, they're always so intense. Right now, we kind of feel the calm. The calm's happening, but the storm's about to pick up.
Loshak takes a look and gets by Robinson. So Lawrence Loshak gets himself back to the front of the field as the laps wind down at Brainerd. Great move on Robinson.
And it was a beautiful pass, late out braking. He wasn't getting in Gar's mirror. I don't think Gar expected him to dive down the inside.
Take another look at it here. We are on board Justin Haley, sitting third. And we talked about dive bombing on a road course. Robinson gave him room there.
Yeah, that was a textbook pass. Both drivers gave each other a lot of room. I think that Lawrence Loshak maybe caught Gar off guard.
So Lawrence Loshak, front row starter, takes the lead back and now pulls a couple of car lengths on Robinson.
And this is where we saw him early in the race. Lawrence Loshak, like I said, he had a commanding lead, made a slight mistake. He spent the rest of the way getting back to this top spot.
So Lawrence Loshak and the Pennzoil Chevrolet takes over late in the going here at Brainerd. Does Robinson have any tire left?
He's been working it hard, but so have the other competitors. You know, I'm so surprised on how good this tire holds up. We see the guys from lap 1 to the very last lap sliding, smoking the tires, but they always have enough to race hard.
Back into turn 1. On board here with Robinson as he tries to chase down the race leader. Gar Robinson led a lot of laps in this one. As the defending series champ, he does not want to give up the point or give up the fight. A little further back, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Shane Lewis runs 8th. Adam Andretti is 9th. There's Prosiak in 10th. And the 0-2 car, John Atwell, back in 11th spot. These guys have had a good fight going as well.
Yeah, you see great battles throughout the entire field here. We always do in the TA2 competition. Now, these guys are a few seconds back from that lead group, but they're having a great fight of their own.
Of course, Adam Andretti has won races in this series. Shane Lewis has won a lot of races over the years. Keith Prosiak, we heard from him earlier about his AEM system. A young driver trying to make his way forward in TA2, on board with Gar Robinson, running second behind Loshak.
And it seems like the leaders just are not able to break free of the pack. I'm not sure if it's just the pace or the draft or these cars are so close together, but every time...
Loshak goes way wide. That opens the door for Robinson. Side by side, we're on board with Haley.
Side by side, Lawrence Loshak has position for the next corner, but Gar Robinson is fighting hard on the outside.
Loshak trying to hang on to the top spot. Robinson elbows his way back in front. Loshak's going to try him on the high side, and here's Haley getting in the mix again. All three under a blanket. That opens the door for McIvern. Haley rubbing on Robinson's machine as they head back to the first turn.
I have not seen a race so
Oh! And Haley gets turned. Justin Haley goes around. He gets tagged by Bernlower in the 07. That will bring out a caution late in the race.
You can't run that hard, that side by side, that long, and not have an incident.
Oh, my heavenly days. Tough break here. Tommy Archer gets into it with the 24 of McIvern, gets by the mess. Here's another look. This is from McIvern's on board. Haley leans on Loshak. Contact there, body parts flying. And Loshak gets into the door of the 99.
Well, we see a lot of contact from a lot of cars right there. Justin actually got hit twice. He got hit from the back by Dylan and then hit in the side by Lawrence Loshak.
Take a look at it from Haley's vantage point. He's just along for the ride at this point.
When you have 4 or 5 cars going for the lead, I hate to say this, but you have to expect that something's going to happen.
Yellow waving and Haley off course. The 0-2 of Atwell has stopped as well in the runoff area. Looks like Atwell caught a little bit of that in the Texas Tool Traders Chevrolet.
We see a lot of damage, a lot of carnage, but great racing here today.
It caused a full course caution. We were so close to the time limit that the checkered flags wave over the field here at Brainerd. Guy Robinson picks up the victory. We'll talk to him next.
Trans Am Racing Series on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Ryan Companies US, Integrated Commercial Real Estate Solutions. By GoShare, your friend with a truck. And by 3-Dimensional Services Group, Prototype, Production, Proven.
Back at Brainerd International Raceway, a wild one in TA2. Here's again what happened as we were getting close to the time limit in this. Justin Haley, all this beating and banging, gets turned coming off the tight right-hander that puts you onto the fast section here at Brainerd. Another onboard look from Dylan McIvern's viewpoint. There's the contact again between Loshak and the 99.
Absolutely, lots of contact, but what we saw was great, fierce racing. Everybody going for that win.
Guy Robinson emerges the victor. Todd is with him in victory lane.
Here's your race winner, Guy Robinson. How hard were you breathing and hoping we may not have that restart at the end? It was a battle all day out there.
Typically, I really don't like to finish under yellow, but seeing that the car had nothing left in it, I was pretty happy to see that. But just big thanks to my team, big thanks to Pura Vida for helping putting it all together. Huge congratulations to Tommy. Really happy to have him back out here. Honored to race with him. Just happy to have him back.
Guy Robinson used it all up, but he got all the way to the front, and he's your winner at Brainerd.
And Guy Robinson did a great job. He fought hard for the lead, battled back and forth, and came out the victory.
And Tommy Archer returns and bags a second. May not have had the fastest race car, but he cashed in big there at the end.
Well, Tommy Archer was very aggressive all day long, but showed veteran moves, put himself in position, comes away with the podium finish.
Cole Carlson in the Dodge finishes 9th in front of Atwell. She and Tim Gray finishes 12th. Let's talk to our runner-up, local driver and a hero.
It was fun to watch. How much fun was it to drive? The smile, I think, says it all on your face.
That was a lot harder this year than last year. Ever since I got radiation last winter, I haven't been able to get my stamina back, and halfway through I was sucking wind. And I got down into turn 1 and I went for the pedal and I got rear brake first, and I just couldn't save it and couldn't get it off the hop. And so I had to battle, but they got into a mess over here and it just helped me out.
All worked out in the end. Tommy Archer, your runner-up today.
Thank you.
Tommy, part of the legendary Archer Brothers, his home racetrack at Brainerd. A lot of fans here to see Tommy run. A very popular guy with his competitors, too.
And you hear it. You hear the applause. So much respect for Tommy Archer. Just a great man, and he's battling something, and he's out here racing and doing a great job.
Third place finisher Dylan McIvern with Todd.
Dylan McIvern, was it as wild out on that track as we saw from pit lane?
Oh man, that was probably the craziest race we've ever had in TA2. It was a bunch of fun, a little rough, but we came out with not the best car. We were struggling with handling all weekend. Part of that due to how sandy that track is getting out there, and everybody's just fighting for grip with all that sand. Just gotta thank the Mike Cope crew, Flowtech Engines. They did a great job. The Heritage Motorsports car ran great out there. It was all about being consistent and kind of staying out of the melee, and we were lucky that we didn't get too torn up. Yeah, overall, a really good points day.
So Dylan McIvern comes home on the podium. Let's take a look at the chase for the Trigon Trophy in TA2. After 5 of 12 rounds, McIvern now third within striking distance of Guy Robinson.
And he stretches that lead to Tony Buffamani. Did a great job, Gar did. They were tied coming into it. That's how you win championships.
And it'll be a tight battle for the championship. We'll talk to you next from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio. For Michael McDowell and Todd Lewis, we congratulate our winner today, Guy Robinson. Thanks for watching Trans Am on the CBS Sports Network.